So, good morning, everybody. Oh, you can do better than that. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So, you have come to the InterAct conference. The clue is in the name. What we expect to see today is lots of interactions. So InterAct is probably one of the most exciting projects that I've ever had the chance to be part of, because it's not a project. It's about creating a movement, and it's about creating a movement of all those people from such a range of diverse backgrounds that actually have a shared passion to ensure that we create a responsible, a resilient, a sustainable future of digital manufacturing that also not only delivers what we need to as a country, but also does so in a way that ensures the well-being of all those that are involved. And so today is our inaugural conference. And as I said, what we'd like to make sure is that we have lots of interactions. So what we're hoping to get out of today, as I said, our main goal is to actually create a movement for change. And this is a movement of like-minded in terms of sense of purpose, but ideally we want people whose backgrounds are as diverse as possible, because it's going to be those different ways of looking at the problem that are going to help us come up with solutions that are more future fit. And what we actually want to be able to do, lots of people perhaps would say of academics that we're very good at coming up with theory, but sometimes we present it in ways that aren't particularly useful to industry or to policymakers or to industrial digital technology providers, those people that want to use it. So what we're trying to do this morning is to actually ensure that you leave with at least one actionable insight. And that when you're here, that you actually take the time to actually talk to some people that you've never spoken to before, and that you start to build a network of slightly different people. And part of the issue that we find in perhaps conveying some of the insights we have both as academics but also as industrialists or policymakers is the language we use isn't always accessible to other people. So I know when I talk to Bays, for instance, 90% of people in Bays are economists. I come from manufacturing. They talk about gross value added per head. I talk about overall equipment efficiency. We're both talking about performance, but we use very, very different terms. And so one of the things that we would like to do this afternoon is, through the power of storytelling, perhaps get people to think about their narrative skills in a slightly different way. Because we're only going to move forward if we can debate. And again, this afternoon, you'll start to create questions that you'll pose live to our panel, not in a canned way, but in a genuine way that they'll answer the critical questions that you develop. Because what we really want you to leave today is with a very clear single action that you individually are going to do to move forward our purpose, to become part of this movement for change. And so what we're going to do to create this movement is, the morning is all about inspiration. And what you notice is you're going to have 12 different 10-minute, insightful, high-impact presentations that will fill you full of ideas. We'll start with a couple of keynotes, and then the presentations will be themed around the future of manufacturing ecosystems, the future of work, the future of the economy, to get you to start thinking about what those actionable insights could be. And then after lunch, it's always good to have time to reflect, and a coffee break where you've got to meet some other people. This afternoon, we're going to start going into reflection and synthesis. So first thing this afternoon, you'll hear from Sean Cully, a futurist, that will just start to take those insights and maybe corral them into a single picture. And then we'll work with the leaders of our Storytelling Academy, who'll start to get you in groups in your tables to think about a narrative, which will lead to critical questions. You'll have to do some work this afternoon because you'll need to feed back in 2-minute pitches the emerging narrative and your critical question. We'll then have a quick coffee, and then we'll go into our panel debate where you, our audience, will pose those critical questions that you've developed to our panel. And we'll leave this formal session in this room with one critical action. However, that's not the end of the day. For those of you who can stay, we're going to do something a bit different. So actually, our Storytelling Academy has already created a number of different stories that are aimed to start to inspire that movement for change. And so with some drinks and nibbles, we invite you to a screening to actually see some of those videos to inspire change.